Welcome to the Elbow House. We are situated along the banks of the Elbow River in Calgary, which is where the house gets its name. But it also has to do with the geometry of the house. To think of it as a literal arm with an elbow that kind of makes this really subtle but strong move. It really has to do with the meandering, finding your own path along the facade and allowing your eye to kind of wander, to meander as well. So I think that the design process started here and was really rooted in this place. We would have backyard design sessions and presentations where we kind of talked about the architectural ideas and how they would interact with the surroundings, how best to integrate with the trees, how best to integrate with the other houses, what kind of references, architectural references do the other houses make. It's a minimalist house, but it has so much warmth to it. And I think that there's often this association of minimalism with stark, but we didn't want that to be the case. So I think it has a lot to do with material. When you start to think about natural materials and materials that can have texture and can reflect and receive light in a really interesting way, it adds that human touch, very natural touch to it. So despite it being minimalist, it still is very warm and very inviting. I think that also plays a role on the exteriors in that very kind of simple, restrained material palette, where we have the wood, the brick, and the stucco. Even the stucco, a material that can often be maligned, has an interesting way of capturing light and shadows. So we designed specific facades for the shadows of the trees to create kind of this very simple and slow movie that would play across the facade over the course of a day. We designed the house as kind of a stacked 2 volumes. The volume on the bottom was really open, and you could have a view to the street in the front or the courtyard as you approach the house. There's the green room, the kind of outdoor entertaining space, and then the backyard. So there's this kind of open panorama that you can observe from the heart of the home, from the kitchen, which is great for entertaining. And then the upper volume is kind of clad in this wood screen for privacy, and that's where all of the bedrooms are. So there's this kind of duality to the house, really bright and open and airy on the base, and then as you move up, kind of becomes more private. So in architecture, there's this idea of the stereotomic and the tectonic elements of a building. The stereotomic is what connects you to the ground, and that's where the brick comes in. The tectonic is this kind of more fine-grained, filigreed element. So the wood above is the tectonic, and that kind of allows you to see the structure, to see the way that it's made, and to give the eye some visual interest. So you feel connected, but you can still look up and wonder at the building. And that's what we've done here, quite literally, is taken that idea, strong base and more fine-grained top, and those two things interact with each other in a way that really invites you to wander around the building, but still feel very much connected to the landscape. The client talked about liking the idea of inhabiting a T-shaped building, and the T provides opportunity for several kind of courtyards, several spaces to exist around the building. So it's much more dynamic of a shape, of a letter to inhabit. This is actually the client's metaphor. They said that they really were looking forward to inhabiting a T, and that just shows a level of design understanding that I think is really commendable. They came to us with a simple brief. They were interested in light and capturing it, and it allowed us the opportunity to explore what that might look like.